Good afternoon, grade 12 learners, and welcome to today's lesson. Again, my name is Nikiwe Zulu, and please note that this lesson is brought to you by the Gauteng Department of Education in collaboration with Saibono Discovery Center, and the broadcast is brought to you by the Pakama Research and Development. Girls and boys, welcome back to our exciting lesson. And today's lesson is actually a continuation of what we were doing last week, Monday. Remember, we had started with financial documents, and just a quick recap before we continue from where we left off. We discussed the different financial documents. We spoke about your budget. We spoke about your income and expenditure statements. We spoke about your account statements, like your bank statements, your invoices, quotations, your salary slips, and your till slips. And one of the most important things that we agreed upon last week is that it is very important for every adult to have good financial skills. And then I reminded you guys that as Meslit learners, you guys are very privileged because this is a skill that you actually learn from grade 10. If you decide to do Meslit in grade 10, this is where you start learning about the finances and how to properly manage your finances. And we did that in grade 11. Even those learners that are doing Meslit for the first time in grade 12, you guys are still privileged because you are still going to get to learn more about the different financial documents. And I know even in your classes, you've already started working with this. So what we are having now is actually a revision session for you to test yourself how much you've grasped, how much you understood, and if you didn't understand some of the things, this is actually a second opportunity for you. Now guys, without any further waste of time, let us move on into today's section. So like I said, that we are moving on from where we left off. Now we have an invoice activity. We are quickly going to do this one, and then we'll move on to a new topic. I hope you guys are going to go through this with me, and then you are going to try the exercises, and then you can compare your answers with mine and see if you are doing well or you still need more support in this section. So here we have an invoice. This invoice is from the P&L Marketing, and then we've got their address here. There is given. We also have their contact details. Remember what is an invoice? Last week we agreed that an invoice, it is a document that you receive, you get to show the goods and services that you have purchased. So this is actually it's more like a bill that, okay, you bought 1, 2, 3, and now this is the money that you need to pay. So this invoice is directed to who? To J&J General Store. And then we have the address of J&J General Store, and then also the date of the invoice. This invoice was issued on the 31st of January 2021. And then here we've got an extra information. We have the tax invoice number, we have the document case, we have the banking details. The document case is more like a reference number for this invoice. And then we have the banking details. The banking details is the post bank, and then current account. These are the account details. Now guys, you must take note that this information, this extra information, it is not for the J&J General Store. J&J General Store bought these goods. They bought them from where? From P&L Marketing. That means that these banking details, all this information is for P&L Marketing. Why did they include their banking details? So that if the customer doesn't want to pay cash, they want to transfer money directly into their bank account, then they can just use these banking details, and they can use their reference number as to show that this money is from this supplier. And then we have the items that they bought on your statement. Then the items are appearing as codes. We have them MET 312. What is the description of MET 312? It is the flyers, and then the quantity. How many flyers did they purchase? They purchased 100 flyers. And what is the unit price? By unit price, guys, they mean price per item. Unit means per single item. So if they bought 100 of them, and one of them cost 3 rand 15 cents. So what would be the total? To get the total, you will say 100 multiplied by 3 rand 15 cents, and then it gives you a total of what? Of 315 rands. And then the other item that they bought, it is the DES 312. And what is this? This is the code for what? For the design of flyers. And then now the quantity here, it means it is the time that it took for them to design these flyers. It was 5 hours. And then what is the unit price? The unit price in this case, it would be per hour for 1 hour. So they're actually charging 125 for 1 hour. But because in this case they did 5 hours, to get the total now, they said 125 multiplied by 5 hours to give a total of 625. And then now let's go to the subtotal. We have the subtotal excluding VAT. Remember, VAT is calculated at what? At 15%. So the subtotal excluding VAT, when you add 1, 2, 3, 4, you will get a total of 4,940. And then if you want VAT, 15% VAT, 15% of this amount would be what? It would be 741. So if you add all these items and then you calculate the 15%, you will get 741. And now when you want the total now, the total including the VAT, it would be the subtotal plus the VAT amount. It gives you how much? 5,681. Guys, did you see what I'm doing here? I didn't even look at the questions. I'm first analyzing the document that is given to me. I identify the type of document that I'm working with. It's an invoice. I check the personal detail, the contact details, the address, and then from there, I check all my items that are given, the prices, and how the values have been determined. Now that I've got all this information, it means I'm ready for war. I can go to war because now I'm armed. I've got everything that I need for me to come out of that war alive. Now let's go to our questions. A, the banking details provided on the J&J invoice. The banking details provided on the invoice to J&J General Store are J&J General Store's details. So we need to indicate, is this true or false? Remember, J&J is the customer here. And then P&L is the supplier. So these banking details cannot be the banking details of the customer. They are actually the banking details of the supplier. Why are they there? So that if the customer cannot pay cash, then they can make a transfer into the bank account of the store. So to answer this question, the banking details provided on the invoice to J&J General Store are the J&J General Store's details. So this is false. It is not true. These banking details are for P&L marketing. Remember, J&J in this case, they are just customers. So the answer here is false. The second question, the number 12345, that is the number here. It's written text invoice number. So it is the invoice number 12345 needs to be provided as a reference number when paying the amount due. Remember here, when you talk about P&L marketing, it's probably a very big company. So it means they deal with hundreds of clients on a daily basis. So there'll be a lot of people that are depositing money into their account. So in order for them to be able to trace where the amount is coming from, it means as a payer, as a customer, you need to have a unique reference number. It cannot be your name because you cannot say Palesa Mokoena. There's a lot of Palesa Mokoena. So they give you a unique invoice number. And then in this case, the invoice number is 12345. Now, meaning if you're going to transfer or deposit money into their bank account, when they want the reference, you must provide this reference number. Then they will be able to trace it that, okay, this unique reference number, it is for Palesa Mokoena. Then they can clear your name of their debt list. So to answer the question now, the number needs to be provided as a reference number when paying the amount due. So this is absolutely true. The next question. The amount of 741 for VAT is only calculated for the designs. Let us see which amount are they talking about. I saw VAT. I'm going to go to my statement. There is VAT, guys. VAT is what? It is 15%. and then the 15% is what? Is 741. So what are they saying? They're saying this 741 is only calculated for the designs. How many designs do they have here? It's 1, 2, and it's just the 625 and the 1500. So we don't know. We need to tell whether that is true or it is false. And for us to make that decision, let us check first. What was the subtotal excluding VAT? The subtotal excluding VAT was 4,940. Remember, where is this 4,940 coming from? It comes from adding all these values to say 315 plus 625 plus 2,500 plus 1,500. So you've added all these four amounts. It gives you a total of 4,940. Now let us take this amount and find 15% of that amount. And then we'll see if it will give us 741 or a totally different answer. So I'm doing it here. I hope you guys are also doing it. Since it's a math lead period, all of us are supposed to be having our calculators. So it's 4,940 multiplied by 15%. What are you guys getting? Because I am getting 741, meaning that this 741, it is the VAT amount for all the items, not only the designs. So to answer our question, the amount of 741 for VAT is only calculated for the designs. The answer is false. Guys, I hope you are following. I hope you understand. I hope you are also answering this on your side. And remember, you can always interact with us on our WhatsApp number. It's 082-760-2630. And remember, you can only send a WhatsApp message. No phone calls, no SMSs, no video calls, guys. Just send a WhatsApp message. Even if you don't have a question, you can give your answers, or you can just give a shout out. Send your name, your surname, and your school name, and let us know if you are really enjoying, you are having fun. Would like to hear from you guys. The next question now. The representative from J&J General Store. Remember, J&J is the client. P&L Marketing is coming to deliver to the client, which is J&J. So the rep from J&J General Store who receives the product on behalf of J&J's General Store will sign the invoice. Guys, I'm not sure if you have seen an invoice or you've ever received a delivery. When you receive a delivery, the people that are delivering, they need to have proof that they've actually delivered the goods, they delivered them at the right place, and somebody received them. Now, the only proof that they have is the copy of the invoice, where they need the receiver to actually sign the invoice and give their contact details if it's necessary. Otherwise, they might deliver the goods at the wrong address, received by the wrong person, and then tomorrow the client will come and complain and say, no, I never received my goods. So if the delivery people, they check their records, they'll say that, no, you received your goods because here you signed. There is your name, your surname, your signature, and these are your contact details. So we delivered the goods at the right place. So that is how it works. So in this case, they went to deliver at J&J General Store, and there was a rep. A rep is someone that was employed to deal probably with the deliveries when people are coming to deliver at J&J Store. So when that person receives the goods, yes, that person is the one that will sign the invoice. So on this page here, the person will write their name. If their name is Nigiwe, they'll write their name, and then they will attach their signature. And then the delivery people, they will keep a copy and leave the copy with the items that are delivered. So to answer this question, this is absolutely true. It is correct. The statement is correct. The next question. The item codes will be used in the statements to J&J General Store. Remember, every organization, every company, they have their financial records. They have their financial statements, because at the end of a financial year, they need to sit down and reconcile their books and see that all their items are balancing. So in order for them to do that, they need to know where every single cent was spent. So here, because the description is such a long word for a statement. So for them to describe the items that they spent money on their statement, they can actually use the codes, because the codes shortens the items. So if you want further details, if you want to know what is this 312, then you'll have to go to the original copy of the invoice and check this 312. It's for what is for the design of flyers. But then if you go through their statements, their financial statements, you will not see the descriptions. You'll just see what? The item codes. So to answer this question, girls and boys, the item codes will be used in the statements to J&J General Store. This is absolutely true. And then moving on to our second statement, guys. Remember, we were doing the invoice. We did pay slip last week. We did a till slip. So now we are working with a bank statement. And I remember with statements, it could be anything. It can be a bank statement. It can be an account statement for water, a telephone bill, whatever. All those are types of statements. And what I emphasized last week when it comes to the statements, I spoke about the opening balance, the closing balance, the credits, and the debits. If you look at this statement is from the 1st of October 2021 up to the 19th of October 2021. So when you look at the date, the first date, the first amount that you see there on the first date, that amount is your opening balance. Sometimes the opening balance can be negative. Sometimes it can be 0 to indicate that there's no money in the account. But in this case, we have 3,065. And this 3,065, it is our opening balance. And if you check the last date where the statement ends, where it closes, it is on the 19th of October. And the amount that is there, the last amount, it is 4,152. And this amount, it is your closing balance, even though it is not indicated. So the amount, the last amount, that becomes your closing balance. Remember again, the closing balance can also be negative to show that you actually owe. Sometimes the closing balance can also be 0 to indicate that there is no more money that is left in the account. And then we have this section of debit. Last week, I told you that debit means all the money that is taken out of the account. And for this particular statement, the values are positive. But some other statements, the values on the debit will be indicated by the minus sign to show that these are the values where the money is taken out. And then we have the credits. The credits indicate that the money is coming into the account. So with other statements, you will have the plus next to the amounts to show that this is the money that is coming into the account. And the other thing that you must take note of when you are working with statements, you will have unknowns. And the unknowns will be indicated by the alphabets, your A, your B, your C, D, E, F, depending on the type of statement that you are working with. And as soon as you see the alphabets, you must know definitely the examiner is going to require you to find the value of those letters. You are going to be required to find the value of A, B, C, and D. That is what you must expect when you are dealing with a financial document. And then the other thing, you must know how the values are determined in a statement. For example, the examiner can ask you to show how the 4,290 and 92 was determined. One of the biggest mistakes that your peers are doing when they come across such a question, they want to explain in ways that to get 4,292, they took 1,200 and added it to 3,090. No, when you say you must show, we want you to show mathematically. You need to show using your sums, whether you subtracted or you minus, but you need to show by means of calculations. So those are the type of questions you should expect in the exams when you are dealing with financial documents. Guys, did you see what I've been doing? I was breaking down this bank statement. First, I identified the document. It's a bank statement. And then secondly, I looked at everything that is given to me. I check my opening balance, I check my closing balance, my credits, my debits, my balances, and then I checked if I have any unknowns, and then I know that I have unknowns. When I go to answer the questions, when I go to, I am prepared because I know what I'm expecting. I know the questions that I'm expecting. I'm expecting to find a question that asks me to determine how the value was found. I'm asking questions that will want me to find the values of A, B, C, D, and E. I'm expecting to be asked what is the opening balance. I'm expecting to be asked what is the closing balance. And all those things I've got answers for, because when you work with financial documents, girls and boys, the answers, all the answers are always there. All the answers are in the document. So there's really no need for you to scratch your head or look any further. Your answers are right in front of you. Now, let's go and see the questions that we have for this particular document. Number 1, you need to determine the values of A and B. Like I said, that I was expecting this question, so I'm really not surprised. I was expecting this question. Remember, guys, you can also do those calculations there by yourself, and then when I'm done giving the solution, you can compare your solution with my solution. And then I would really appreciate it if you guys can send through your answers. Remember our WhatsApp number, 082 760 2630. So please do send in those solutions, and then remember to tell us your name, surname, and the school that you are watching from. So let us answer our question here. They want us to find the value of A. We ask yourself first, what is A? Looking at our statement, we have the opening balance. It means at the start of this statement, the owner of this statement actually had money in their account. And how much did they have? They had 3,065.50 cents. That was the money that they had in their account. And then on that same day, there is interest on balance. So it means now for this particular account, you earn interest for every amount of money that is in your account. So it means if you are at 0, 0, if your balance is 0, 0, you are also going to get an interest of 0, 0. If your balance is at minus, you are actually going to lose out. So in this case, there's a positive balance, and then it means we are happy because you are definitely going to earn interest on your balance. So, but how do we know how much interest this person is going to earn? We know that there was this balance, and then they added this interest. After adding this interest, this person ended up with 3,090.92 cents. So what happened? The money increased from 3,065 to 3,090. So we want to know that from 3,065, how much was added for them to get to 3,090.92 cents. So how do you guys do that? There are so many ways of doing it. So, but I'm going to choose this one that I think is short, and all of us, I'm sure all of us are probably choosing this one. We're going to take this amount to find A. We're going to take the 3,090.92 cents, and then we subtract the original balance, that one on top, which is 3,065.50 cents. Guys, I hope you are punching those calculators there. You should be used to your calculator, guys. 3,090.92 cents, and then we subtract 3,065.50 cents. What is the answer? The answer is 25 rand 42 cents. So the value of A is 25 rand and 42 cents. I hope we all got the same answer. Please do send in your solutions in our WhatsApp number, and then remember to also tell us your name and the name of your school. We found the value of A. The question said you must find the value of A and B. Now let us look, where is B? B is here, and then it just says Checkers. Checkers, we know it's a supermarket, and then it is on the section of debit. Remember, when we started, we agreed that debit is the money that is going out. So we don't know, either this person withdrew money from the tills at Checkers, or this person was buying some items they bought using their card at Checkers. But how much did they buy for? We don't know. That is why it is the value of B, and that is what we need to to find out. But do we have the tools that can help us to find the value of B? Absolutely. That is the nicest thing about Maths Lead. You'll always be given something to help you get to the answer. You don't have to think anything all by yourself from scratch. You're always given something to start with to help you reach your answer. So in this case, we have the previous balance, which was 4,290. And then from the previous balance now, the new balance is now 3,839. What happened here? The balance has decreased. It has gone down. And what does that mean? It means that money was taken out of the account. And it makes sense because the value of B is on the debit side. So for us to find B, we know that we have to say, okay, for B, we are going to say the previous amount because that is the bigger amount, which is 4,290 and 92. And then I'm going to subtract. To subtract how much? 3,839 and 93 cents. Guys, please do that on your calculators. And remember to send through your solution in our WhatsApp number, please. It's 4,290 and 90 cents minus 3,839 and 93 cents. And then what is the answer, guys? What are you guys getting? I'm getting 450 rands and 97 cents. So it means that this person made a purchase at Checkers, a purchase of how much? Of 450 rands and 97 cents, because that is the money that was taken out of his bank account. Guys, I hope you are following. I hope you are having fun and you are enjoying this as much as I'm enjoying it. And then number 2, you need to find the value of C. What is C? It is the ATM charge. And they say you can use the formula, the charge for your own ATM. It is 2.95 per 100 rand. Actually, this formula here is incomplete, guys. The correct formula is this one at the bottom. Charge for own ATM. It is 2.95 cents per 100 rand or part of. Guys, this is very, very important. I want you guys to listen and understand this. So when you go and withdraw money from the ATM, the bank will charge you. And then when they charge you, they don't just decide that we are going to charge him 5 rands, we are going to charge him 15 rands. No, there's a certain standard formula that every bank uses. It's more like a tariff that is used by different banks. So for this particular bank, they are using 2.95 per 100 rand. So it means now if you go to the ATM and you withdraw 700 rands, 700 rands, it has how many 100 rands? 7, because it's 100 rand, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700. So it is 700 rands. So if you wanted to calculate the charge for ATM, you will say 2.95 multiplied by, remember I said you withdrew how much? 700 rands. And they said here is 2.95 per 100 rands. So there is actually 7 of the 100 rands. So you're going to say 2.95 multiplied by 7. And then it will give you how much? 2.95 multiplied by 7. It will give you 20 rands and 65 cents. So that is the bank charge that you are going to pay when you withdraw 700 rands from your account. Now, I want to explain this part of or part thereof. So here it means that every extra amount that you are going to withdraw after your 100 rands, they are going to charge you more. Let's say you withdraw 540. If it's 540, because it is more than the hundreds, it is more than 5. It means here they are going to charge you for how many 100 rands? For actually 600 rands. I hope you guys are following. If you decided to withdraw 390, they are going to charge you for how many 100 rands? For 4. If you decide to withdraw 90 rands, they always round up. If you withdraw 90 rand, they will charge you for 100 rand when they use this particular formula here. I hope you guys are following. I hope you guys understand, but you will do this again in detail when you do the tariffs, and especially the part of the banking tariffs. So in our case here, we want the value of C, and then what is C? It is the ATM charge. So how much was actually withdrawn? You go back to the statement. The money that was withdrawn, it's the ATM withdrawal. Here it is 540 cents. Guys, you cannot withdraw coins from an ATM. So here on our statement, there is a typing error. I want us to fix it. The amount here is actually 540. I hope you guys are fixing it there. So the ATM withdrawal was 540. So from this 540, I want you guys to calculate for me the charge, the ATM charge for own ATM using this formula. And then calculate for me how much is this person going to pay for the banking, for the ATM charge. Like I want the value of C. Calculate for me what would be the value of C. And I'm going to give you guys a minute to quickly do this one and send through your answers on your WhatsApp. And then when I come back, I will do the solutions. We'll discuss them. I'm going to take a 1 minute break. You guys work it out. When I come back, we'll do it together.
Excellence. Excellence is a habit. Excellence is a quality you have, a quality I have. It's a quality we have when we honor what is true to us. Yes, we are gifted differently. uNkulunkulu akasinganga ngokufana. Excellence is striving for your best. Whenever you have a particular project, test, homework, uzibuze, ask yourself, is this my best? Can I put in more effort? Excellence is striving to be in the top 1% of the area in which you are gifted. And so I challenge you, in every single thing that you do, in every single area that you're gifted in, whether it's sports, it's academic, ucula, whatever that gift is, strive for excellence.
Hope we got your answers now. Let's do it together. Then you can check if you're on the right track or not. Remember the formula. It is 2 rand 95 cents. 2 rand 95 cents per 100 rand or part thereof. And then in our case, I said how much was deposited. It is 540. And if it is 540, they are actually going to charge you for how many 100 rands? For 600 rands. Even if you withdrew 510, they will still charge you for 600 rands. So our formula, I'm going to say 295 multiplied by 6. Let me punch it. I know you guys already have your answers there. 295 multiplied by 6, and the answer is 17 rand 70 cents. So the value of C, guys, it is 17 rands and 70 cents. I hope all of you got it right. If you didn't, I hope you see your mistake and then next time you do better. And then number 3, Hence, show that the value of D is 3,973 and 23 cents. Remember I said when you work with the statement, you should also be expected to show how a value has been determined. Then now they're telling you that BD is 3,973. What you must do, you must show how it was determined. Now remember we have the value of C already. We said our C is 17 Rand 70, and then remember this one we corrected it. We said it was actually 540. That was taken out of the ATM. So now they want us, they say D is 3,973 and 23 cents. So how was that determined? We go back to our statement. Just before D, you always look at the value on top of that one that you want. So the value on top of that what we want is what is 3,990. And then from this 3,990, there is a debit, meaning that the money was going out. This person lost this money. Of how much? Of 17 Rand 70 cents. So from this, you take out 17 Rand 70 cents. We are expecting it to give us 3,973. But then let's check if that is the answer. I said it must be 3,990 and 93 minus 17 Rand and 70 cents. So you do it there, guys, on your side. 3,000. We want to see if we'll get the same answer. 390 and 93. You minus 17 Rand 70 cents. I'm getting 3,973 and 23 cents. I'm happy because this is exactly what I was expecting to find. So if you come across this question, this is how you will answer this question. And normally, when we mark this question, if maybe it was for 2 marks, the first mark would be for subtracting the correct values, and then the second mark would be for subtracting. For this one, guys, we will not give a mark because this one was given to you. You just had to show how it was determined. And then I think now we have come to the end of our financial documents, guys. We can now move on to the section of VAT. Again, this is another section that you are not seeing for the first time. You've done it in grade 10, you've done it in grade 11, and again in grade 12, you come across VAT. And I can guarantee you guys, for your paper 1, whether it's your prelim exam or your final exam, you are not going to complete a paper 1 question paper without a VAT question. So it's very important that you understand and you master this section because you are definitely going to be assessed on VAT. Your prelim paper 1, your final exam paper 1, questions of VAT are always there. Now, the lesson objectives for this section. After this unit, you should be able to determine the items for which VAT is exempt. We'll discuss that in detail, what we mean by items that are VAT exempted. You should be able to determine and calculate the total VAT payable. And then lastly, you should be able to determine the amount of VAT that has been added to a VAT inclusive price. And again, we'll discuss in detail what do we mean by VAT inclusive, what do we mean by VAT exclusive, and the difference between the two, and then the VAT amount. Now, VAT, guys, again, the other question that you can expect, I know we take this very for granted. Your brothers and sisters, they've always taken this for granted. You can expect this question again in the exam. They can ask you, for what does the acronym VAT stand for? And you guys must shine there. You must take that 2 marks that VAT stands for value added tax. That's it. You get your 2 marks. If you are asked now to explain it, there's the difference between what does the acronym VAT stand for and what is VAT. If you now have to explain what is value added tax, it is the tax that we pay on some goods and services. That is how you explain the notion of VAT. And then you must also know, guys, the other basic, like all this that I'm doing here, these are the basics. This is the foundation that you are expected to know as a Maths Lit learner, especially the one that is in grade 12. That VAT in South Africa is calculated at 15%. Remember, the government is the one that decides and determines that for what percentage they are going to use to calculate VAT. I think some years back, before 2018, we were using 14% VAT. And then since then it changed. Now we are working with 15%. So don't be surprised if you are working with old question papers or some old textbooks and you still see VAT as 14%. Just know that all those resources are outdated. From now on, in Mathslit, when we talk VAT percentage, we are referring to 15%. Don't get it confused. And then as much as we pay tax on the goods and services, there are other items of which we do not pay tax on them. Like, in other words, they are saying they are zero rated or they are VAT exempted. So it means for those particular items, you don't pay tax, you don't pay VAT on them. And most of those items are your basic need items, which is the items that you need. It's not like you want them. They're not luxury items. Like ice cream. Ice cream is not a need. You can survive without ice cream. It's not a basic need. If you wanted a burger is not a basic need. You can do without that. If you wanted to go and buy a perfume is not a need. It's a luxury item that I can do without. But you have some items that are basic needs, like your mealie meal. You need that to survive. It's a staple food. Your brown bread, fresh milk, your eggs, your sanitary pads. There's actually a long list of all the goods that are exempted from VAT. So you must know that all those items, they're exempted from VAT because those are your basic need items. And then when you're working with a slip, whether it's a till slip or an account slip, whatever, they'll always indicate the items that are exempted from VAT, meaning the items that they did not charge you VAT on them. And normally it is indicated by an asterisk, or sometimes it will be indicated by a hash. So if you see the price of an item and then there's a star, or a price of an item then there's a hash, then you must immediately remember that, oh, it means these are the items where we are not going to pay VAT on them. Please don't forget this. And then, yes, these are just examples of the zero-rated items, and I've already mentioned them. So this information, guys, is very, very important. It's a basic skill that every Mathslit learner is expected to have from grade 10, guys. From grade 10. What I'm doing here is actually grade 10 work. It is assessed in grade 12. You will come across one of these questions in your exams. So it's good that you actually are exposed to it now. You understand it so that when you come across it in the exam, you don't see it for the first time. And then, guys, there is what we call VAT inclusive. There's also what we call VAT exclusive. When you talk about VAT inclusive, it means that the price of that item already includes VAT. If I go to the shop now and I want to go and buy a calculator, and then the price of the calculator is 250 on the shelf. When I see that price on the shelf, the 250, that price, it is already inclusive of the VAT. It means that VAT is already included in the price. What you see on the shelf, the price is already included. You're not going to get a surprise when you get to the till thinking that you're going to pay 250 and they say, no, ma'am, we still need to add VAT. So that price that you see on the till on the shelves is already, VAT is already included on that price. And then when you talk about VAT exclusive, that is the original price of the item. It means they haven't added what? They have not added VAT. And remember, I said VAT is calculated at what percentage? At 15%. So the VAT exclusive, it means it is the original price without any extra 15% that is added on the item. So when you talk about VAT exclusive, it is the original, it is the price as a whole originally. 100%. It's clean, untouched. Nothing has been added, nothing has been subtracted. So what I do, I normally draw a table to help myself remember. To say here, I'm going to have VAT exclusive. And then here, I will have the VAT. And then here, it will be the VAT inclusive. And then you do this. So the VAT exclusive, that is the original. The price is clean. It hasn't been touched. So for the VAT exclusive, we will always use 100% because it is at its original state. And then the VAT, what is the VAT percentage? It is 15%. Now, when they say VAT inclusive, what is VAT inclusive? VAT inclusive, it is the VAT exclusive value. In this case, it is 100% plus the VAT amount. In this case, it is the 15%. So when you talk about the VAT inclusive, you are talking about the value of 115%. So when you talk about VAT exclusive, you think 100%. VAT amount, you think 15%. VAT inclusive, you think what? 115%. Note that your VAT inclusive will always be more than your VAT exclusive, because inclusive, it means it's already including the VAT amount. Therefore, the VAT inclusive will always be greater than the VAT exclusive. Guys, this is a very, very important section. There's no way that you will come across an exam paper and you don't see a question on VAT. Previous question papers, you can check last year's question papers, paper 1 finance. Even if you can do question papers from different provinces, there's always questions on VAT. So you understanding how this works is really, really going to benefit you. At the end of the day, it's going to benefit you at the end of the year. And now we have this formula that you can use to help you when you are working with VAT calculations, because sometimes the question will come and they say calculate the VAT amount. Sometimes they'll say calculate the VAT exclusive amount. Sometimes they say calculate the VAT inclusive amount. But now, when do you do what? When do you multiply by 15%? When do you multiply by 115%? When do you divide by 115%? Because we love you as Mathslit learners and you don't want you guys to overthink, we've came up with this formula. This formula is going to help and make things easier for you. When you have this formula, it answers all the questions. It will tell you that this time you must multiply by 115. This time you must times by 15. This time you must divide by 115. So the only thing that you need to do, guys, you need to memorize this formula. You must know that the formula for VAT, we say the amount that is given to you. Remember, when you work with VAT, you'll always be given the amount. So the amount that is given to you, whether it's a VAT amount or it is a VAT exclusive amount or it is the VAT inclusive amount, and then you times it by the percentage that you want. If the examiner said calculate the VAT amount, we know from our table that the VAT amount is what it is, 15%. So you are going to times by 15%, and then if maybe that amount that was given to you was the VAT inclusive, we know that VAT inclusive means what? It means 115. So then you will divide by what? By 115. And then you do your calculations and then you get the answer. I know this might sound very confusing for now, but let us do a practical example so that we can see what I'm talking about. Our formula is still the same. You need to memorize this formula. You must know it. It is the amount given multiplied by the percentage that you want divided by the percentage that you have. Let us look at our example. Remember our table, the VAT exclusive. I said VAT exclusive means what? It means 100%. And then we have the VAT amount. And what does the VAT amount mean? It means 15%. And then lastly, we have VAT inclusive. VAT inclusive means what? It means the 115%. So in this instance, we are given a VAT exclusive amount of 1,000 rands. So how do we apply this in the formula? We have a VAT exclusive amount of 1,000 rand. Let's look for the VAT. Let's calculate the VAT amount. So I'm going to go to my formula and say, okay, the amount given is how much? It's 1,000 rand. 1,000, that is the amount that is given. Multiply by, what is the percentage that I want? Remember, I want VAT. And what is the percentage for VAT? It is 15%. So I'm going to say 1,000 multiplied by 15 divided by. What is the percentage that I have? Remember, I have the VAT exclusive. This is what I have. So it means the percentage that I have is what it is, 100%. So I'm going to say 15 divided by what? By 100. And then it is equals to, you punch in your calculators, you say 1,000 multiplied by 15%, I get 150. So it means the value of VAT here, it is actually 150. Let's find the VAT inclusive amount now. We still work with the same formula. The amount that is given to us, it is how much? It is 1,000 rands. And then you write it down, okay? It is 1,000 rands multiplied by, what is the percentage that I want? This time, I want the VAT inclusive. And what is the percentage for VAT inclusive? It is 115. So I'm going to multiply by 115 divided by, what is the percentage that I have? Because I'm working with the VAT exclusive, and the percentage that represents the VAT exclusive is what it is, 100. And then you punch this in your calculator. You say 1,000 multiplied by 115 and divided by 100. And then I hope all of us are getting this answer. It is 1,150. So the VAT inclusive, it is 1,150. Guys, do you see what's happening here? I don't have to stress, when do I multiply by 15 over 100? When do I divide by 15 over 100? When do I multiply by 115 over? You don't have to stress. The formula makes things easier for you. It will instruct you that this time you multiply, this time you multiply by this value, this time you multiply by this value. So the only thing, guys, that you need to do here, please try and memorize this formula. Once you know this formula, I can promise you, you are going to run in this section of VAT. Let's look at more examples. We are given, okay, let me see. Okay, yes, here is another example. We have a value of 2,645. What is this 2,645? It is actually our VAT inclusive. And remember, what percentage represents the VAT inclusive? Is 115%. So let us start with the VAT exclusive. Let's find the VAT exclusive amount. If the VAT inclusive amount is 2,645. We don't panic. We go to our formula. There is our formula. What is the amount that is given to us? It is 2,645 multiplied by. What is the percentage that we want? Remember, we said we want VAT exclusive. And what percentage represents the VAT exclusive? It is 100%. So I'm going to say the percentage that I want, it is 100% over. What percentage do I have? Remember, I'm working with this amount. So it means all these I have is my haves. I have them. So the percentage that I have here, it is 115%. So now let's multiply here to say 2645 multiplied by 100 over 115. And then it gives us the answer of 2,300. It means that our VAT exclusive amount, it is actually 2,300. We are happy. We have the VAT exclusive amount. Now let's look for our VAT amount. We're still going to use our formula. The amount that is given to us, it is 2,645 multiplied by. What is the percentage that we want? We want the VAT percentage, which is 15%. So we say 15 divided by. What is the percentage that we have? Remember, we have the VAT inclusive, so our percentage is 115. And then you check this, you say 2645 in your calculator, multiply by 15 divided by 115, and then it gives us a total of how much? Of 345. 345. What does this mean? It means the VAT amount is actually 345. Guys, I hope you are following. I hope you are understanding. And please still keep in touch. Send in your questions. Send in your answers. Let us know if you are enjoying the session. Please would like to hear from you guys. And I hope you are enjoying this formula. And please, like I said, you need to memorize this formula because it's going to help you so much when it comes to the section of VAT. And now, guys, here is a quick quiz. We are still going to work with the given formula where you are the amount given, multiply by the percentage that you want, divide by the percentage that you have. So I have the missing values here, A and B. But there's always an amount that is given. There'll always be an amount that is given. The given amount this time, it is 160. And this 160 is what? It is your VAT exclusive. And the VAT exclusive is represented by what percentage? By 100%. So I need you guys, wherever you are, to quickly find the value of A and B using the given formula. I'm going to give you guys 1 minute. Quickly go through this one, and then after 1 minute, we'll do it together and compare the solutions.
You have been given power to decide whether you want good results in your life, in your schoolwork, or you want bad results. As Tony Robbins said, it is in the moment of your decision that your destiny is shaped. And your destiny is shaped right now with the decisions that you are currently making in your schoolwork. So decide whether you want to be an A student and start working on it, because there is power inside of you. The infinite power is inside of you, and the time you decide to tap in that power, you will become who you want to become in your schoolwork.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you so much. We are getting your messages. A big shout out to Spesihle, Alwande, and Witumelo. Guys, we are receiving your messages. We are getting your responses. Thank you so much. And to the rest of the learners, guys, you can also do the same. Remember to send us your messages on 082 760 2630, and you can only send your WhatsApp messages. So if I ask you to do a sum, you can quickly do it and respond via WhatsApp. If I miss something, please let us know in our WhatsApp. Sometimes I'll make a mistake. Let us know in our WhatsApp. We really appreciate those messages that are coming through. Now let's quickly go through our values of A and B. Remember, I said we are still going to work with the given formula. So here we start with the value of A. A is going to be equals to, what is the amount that we are given? We are given 160. So we are going to say A is equals to 160. You multiply by, what is the percentage that I want? I want the VAT percentage. And what is the VAT percentage? It is 15%. So it will be multiplied by 15 over. What is the percentage that I have? The percentage that I have, it is this one, the VAT exclusive, which is 100%. So this divided by 100. And then we punch this in your calculator to say 160 multiplied by 15%, 15 over 100, it's equals to 24, meaning that the value of A is actually 24 rands. I hope you all got it right over there, guys. And then let's look at the value of B. For value of B, we still follow the formula. We still follow the formula. B equals to, remember what is our amount that was given originally? It is 160. So B is 160. You times that by, what is the percentage that we want? We want the VAT inclusive. So that percentage that we want is 115%. So it's 115 over. What is the percentage that we have? We have 100%. So it will be 115 divided by 100. And then you say 160 multiplied by 1,15 divided by 100. And then the answer would be 184. Guys, I hope you all got the same answer as me. And then remember, if you want to make it interesting, here I use the original value of 160. But did you know that you can still find the value of B by using these answers here? So on the amount, instead of 160, you can use 24. And then the percentage, instead of 115, you can use what? You can use 15%. I mean, instead of the 100, you can use 15%. And then the answers will still be the same. Let us move on to the next questions. Remember to keep those solutions coming. Now we need to now find the value of C and D. Because of time, let's do it together, guys. We are still going to follow the same routine, that the amount that is given to us on this table, we are given what? We are given the VAT amount of 45 rands. So you say 45 rands, you times by, what is the percentage that we want? I want the value of C. So it means I want the VAT exclusive amount. So what is the percentage that I want? It is 100% over. What is the percentage that I have? The percentage that I have, it is 15%. So I say 100 divided by what? By 15, which is going to be equals to, the percentage that I want is 100. Yes, the percentage that I have is 15%. Okay, so it's 45 multiplied by 100 over 15, and then it gives us 300 rands. It means that our original amount, excluding VAT, was actually 300 rands. It means here I'm expecting my VAT inclusive to be 345. Let us check if that will be the case. So if we want the value of D, that is the VAT inclusive amount, we say equals to, what is the amount given? We are working with the original amount, which is 45 rands, multiplied by, what is the percentage that I want? It is 115 over, what is the percentage that I want? The percentage, I mean, that I have, it is what? It is 15%. So equals to, then we say 45 multiplied by 115 divided by what? By a 15. And then the answer would be 345, which is exactly what we are anticipating. So the value of D, guys, it is what it is, 345. I hope you guys are getting the same answers as I'm getting. I hope by now you understand and you get how the formula works. And remember, I said this formula, it's going to make your life very easy because it's going to tell you which values to multiply by, which values to divide, and when to do that. You don't even have to think about that. The formula is going to guide you. So yours is just to try and memorize the formula. Make sure that it stays there. It must stay in your head. It must be a permanent resident in your head. And then now we need the values of E and F. Yeah, I forgot to erase the solutions here, guys. For E, it's equals to, still using our formula, the given amount here, it is 805. The given amount is 805. You times that by the percentage that you want. What is the percentage that we want? We're starting with E. It is the 100% over the percentage that we have. Remember, we have this one. So our percentage is 115, which is equals to, quickly do it there, guys. It's 805 multiplied by 100 divided by 115, and then the answer is 700 rands, which is right here on the screen. Just had to be sure if this is the correct answer. And then the value of f, for f, still the same formula, the amount given, we are going to work with 805 multiplied by, what is the percentage that we want? Remember, we want f, meaning we want the 15%, so it's multiplied by 15 over, what is the percentage that we have? It is 115, and then it's equals to, you say 805 multiplied by 15 divided by 115, and then the answer is 105. And then again, it is the same as this one on the table, but remember, we are mislead people. We can't just take any answer that they say the answer is 105 and we go with that. We want to prove it, we want to test it, we want to calculate it and see if that is really the correct answer or not. And then guys, the last activity on VAT. After this, I'm sure we are now all the masters of the VAT section. I don't think there's any one of you that will get this section wrong in the exam, because we've done enough activities, especially on the formula. And if you master that, if you know the terminology, you know the acronym for VAT, what it stands for, and you can do your calculations using the formula, then you are good to go. So here we are given an invoice, and then this invoice is for it's from Mr. Carpet and Interiors, and then we have the address, we have the invoice number, the date of the invoice. This invoice is addressed to Miss Lihle Zulu, and then there is Miss Lihle's address and her contact details. And all these are the items that Miss Lihle bought. She was actually buying carpets. There's the peasant carpet, and then here it is the cost per meter, guys. So what is the cost per meter? It is actually 129 rand per meter. Per meter means for 1 meter. And then she bought how many meters? She actually purchased 4 meters. So if we want to know how much she's going to pay, she must take the 129 multiplied by 4 meters, and then it's going to give her what? 516. And if you check the second item, it is Oriental carpets. And then what is the cost of the Oriental carpets? It's 250 per meter for 1 meter. And how many meters did she need? She needed 6 meters. So if you want to know the amount that she's going to pay, and in this case is the value of A, we'll say 250 multiplied by 6 meters. And then it should give us the amount that she needs to pay. And then we have the subtotal. Subtotal, what does subtotal mean? It means you add all the items that she bought, and they are not including VAT. It's just the original amount, 100% of the items. You write it there, and then there is VAT, and this time they're very nice. They are showing you, they're telling you that VAT is calculated at 15%. Sometimes the examiner will not be this nice. They'll just write VAT, and they expect you as a grade 12 learner to remember that value added tax is calculated at 15%. And then there's the total due. The total due is inclusive of what? Of VAT, meaning is the subtotal plus the VAT amount. Guys, do you see what I'm doing again here? I haven't even looked at the questions. I am analyzing what is given to me. One, I identified the document that this is an invoice. Secondly, I went through the invoice to check where it's from, to whom is it directed for, any other important information, and the description of the items that are there, how much this person was charged, and I see there are unknowns. There's A, B, C, D, E. Already I know that I'm going to be expected to find the values of A, B, C, D, and E. Now, after I've done this, now I can safely go to my questions and see what is it that the examiner would like me to answer. Here is our question number 1.1. We must calculate the values of A, B, C, D, and E. What is our A? A is the total amount of the Oriental carpet. And remember the Oriental carpet, how much are they charging? They're charging 250 per meter. And how many meters is she buying? She bought 6 meters. So I'm going to say 250 multiplied by 6 meters. You punch that on your calculators, guys. Remember, I'll make mistakes, guys, and I might not pick it up. So if you identify any mistake, maybe there's an error in my calculation, please do let us know, guys. It's 250 multiplied by 60. It's equals to 1,500. I don't know how much you guys are getting there, but I got 1,500. So it means on our statement where we see A is actually 1,500. And then you look at the value of B. B, what is B? Is the Paisley runners. And then the cost for those runners is 99 rands per meter. And then what is the quantity? The quantity that this person bought is actually 5 meters. So if you want the total amount that she's going to pay, it is going to be 99 rand multiplied by, how many meters did she buy again? She bought 5 meters. 5 meters is equals to, so let us do that, guys. On your calculators, 99 rands multiplied by 5, I'm getting 495. I hope you are getting the same answer. And then the value of C, what is C, guys? C is the subtotal. So it means we add the prices of all those 3 items. So it's going to be 516 plus 1,500 plus 495. So you add those 3 items is 495 plus 1,500 plus 516. The answer that I'm getting, are you guys also getting 2,511? It's 2,511. That is the total that I am getting. So this is your subtotal, is the value of C. And now the value of D, guys. What is the value of D? D is actually the VAT amount. And the VAT amount is what, guys? It is 15%. Remember, we already have the value of C. From the previous slide, we said C is 2,511. So to find the value of D, we need to calculate the VAT, which is 15%. Remember this one, it is VAT exclusive. This is VAT exclusive. It does not include VAT. It is VAT exclusive. And if it is VAT exclusive, remember it is 800%. And now we are going to go back to our formula. Remember what is our formula? It is the amount given multiplied by. It's multiplied by the percentage that you want over the percentage that you have. Now let us put this into practice. To find the value of C, what is the amount that we are given? We are given an amount of 2,511. Remember, this is our VAT exclusive amount. It's 2,511 times by, what is the percentage that we want? We want the 15%, which is the VAT amount. So I want the 15% over. What is the percentage that I have? I have the original amount, the 100%. So this is divided by 100. So you say 2,511 multiplied by 15 over 100. And then the answer to this is 376 and 55 cents. There are other ways of doing it. The other person could have just said 2,511 multiplied by 15%, and they'll still get the answer of 376 and 55 cents. But I prefer to use the formula because I know with the formula, I'll always be safe. The formula will always tell me that this time you multiply by 15. This time you divide by 15. This time multiply by 100. So the formula is my leader when it comes to this section of taxation. So that is the value of C. That is the value of D. I'm sorry. This is D. This 376 is the value of D. And now we want the value of E. What is E, guys? E now, it is the total due. In actual fact, the value of E, it is the VAT inclusive amount, the 115. And then again, then you can use your formula. I actually wanted to go to the next slide, but I don't have anything to write the correct values from the previous values. So now for the total due, guys, because I don't have space, you can just take, you're going to take the subtotal plus the VAT amount. It must give you the total due. So the VAT amount then, it is 376.55. You know what, guys, I'd actually be very happy if you could use the formula to find the value of E. That would be very interesting. Use the formula. I will use this other method here because I don't have enough space here. So for E is 376.55 plus the value of C, which is 2,511. So the total value of E, 2511, the total value of E is actually 2,887.65 cents, girls and boys. I hope you're getting the same answer by using the formula, because I did not use the formula, and I didn't use the formula because of my limited space. But you guys have got enough space there in your books, so please do try and use the formula. And remember, today you might understand the formula, you might know it, but if you don't practice it on a regular basis, you are going to forget it. You are going to come across these questions in the exam at the end of the year because you are not practicing it. It will be out of your head. You won't even remember that. So guys, we've come to the end of this section of that. Now we are going to move to the last section for today, which is your UIF. Another section again that you are not seeing for the first time in grade 12. You've actually started this one in grade 11. If you're doing Maths Lit in grade 11, then you've definitely done UIF. So this is just a recap, just a reminder before we go into deeper details of Maths Lit. Then you've got the basics right. So the lesson objectives for this unit, by the end of this unit, we should be able to work with pay slips in order to understand the meaning of net pay, the meaning of gross pay, and your deductions. And then lastly, we should be able to calculate UIF. And you must also know for what does the acronym UIF stand for. And then remember, last week when we started with finance, we had this long list of the terminology. But for this section only, for this section of UIF, we are only going to focus on few of these terminologies. So for today, our main focus is going to be on your gross income. It's going to be on your net payment, paying, your pay slip, and your UIF. Guys, what do we mean by gross income? The gross income, it is the salary that you get on your pay slip before any deductions. Deductions are the monies that are taken out of your pay slip. This is how it goes with the pay slip. This is the procedure. So the employer, let's say for myself, I work for the Department of Education. So my employer is the department. My employer, the HR system of the employer, they put the money, okay, this is the gross salary that we agreed with. This is how much you earn before we take out any money. And then there's the section of deductions. Deductions is the monies that they take out. Maybe they say you need to pay this amount for tax, you need to pay this amount for medical aid, you need to pay this amount for pension fund, you must pay this amount for UIF. All those things are deductions. And once they've taken them out, the balance that is left is called the net income. And then that net income will then be deposited into my bank account. Then I will have access to my net income. I don't have access to my gross income. I only have access to my net income because gross, it is the income before any deductions. And then the net payment, like I explained, it is that income now that comes into my bank account, the one that I have access to. So net, it is the payment after the deductions. And then we have payee. What does payee stand for? It is pay as you earn. It's actually a form of tax that is contributed by individuals that are earning a certain income. And because it is pay as you earn. There's actually a certain percentage rate that is used to determine how much payee you must contribute. And since it's pay as you earn, it means the more money you earn, the more tax you are going to contribute. I'm not going to go into detail with this payee, because the next class, that other week, we are going to do the section of taxation. That is when I will be going into deeper details on what exactly is payee. And then we have a pay slip. Like I said last week again, guys, a pay slip, other books will say it's a salary advice, others will say it's a salary slip. It's actually a document that shows a summary of your earnings, your gross income, your net income, your deductions. It also shows your personal information, like where you live, your ID number, when you started working, and your banking details. And it is provided by the employer. It is every employer's responsibility to make sure that the employees are provided with their pay slip. My example, my employer is the Department of Education. I am the employee. So it is the department's responsibility to make sure that I receive my pay slip at the end of every month. And then we have UIF. Guys, UIF, just like VAT, you will be asked in the exam to explain what does the acronym UIF stand for. Yay, if you can see the things that we see at the marking center when you have to mark this particular question, you want to die. So please don't embarrass yourself, don't embarrass us. You should know, guys, in grade 12 that UIF stands for Unemployment Insurance Fund. It is actually an insurance fund that is made to assist people that have stopped working. Maybe if a person has been retrenched or the company had to close, then it assists in making sure that you've got some form of an income for a certain period of time. Sometimes other companies, they don't pay you if you go on maternity leave. So as an individual, you still need to survive. So you are able to get money from your UIF contributions. So we'll go into detail of how exactly does the UIF work. So this is the different terminologies that you will come across in this section. Like I said, that the UIF is the Unemployment Insurance Fund. You must know that, guys. You must know that by head. I don't know what you are going to do. How are you going to make sure that you don't forget this? But you must know it. It is a fund that provides short-term relief to employees when they become unemployed or unable to work due to maternity or illness. Guys, a practical example here. Remember in 2020, the whole country, in fact, maybe the whole world, went on a hard lockdown. And when we're having that lockdown, everything was closed. Your clothing shops were closed, your restaurants were closed, everything was closed. Now, can you imagine all those people that work at the malls? They are at home. The shops are not operating, meaning there's no money that is coming in. Where will the shops get the money to pay all those people that are staying at home when there's no money that is coming in? Now, that is where the UIF became more effective, to say, okay, for this short period of time, I think the hard lockdown lasted for about 3 months. For these 3 months, since there's no income that is coming to the shop, now is the best time to go to the UIF, and then people can be paid from that UIF. It's more like an insurance. Like if you have a car, you pay every month, you pay for your insurance so that when you are maybe involved in an accident and then your car is written off, then the insurance must now pay off for that car that you lost because you've been contributing every month towards that insurance. So the same with the UIF, the people that are working, they are contributing a certain percentage of their salary towards the UIF, and the employer also contributes a certain percentage towards the UIF. And then, so in case you have these scenarios that I just described, then there is money in the fund that is there to save the day. And then your gross income, like I explained, it is the amount that you earn before any deductions. The net pay, it is the money that you take home. So you don't have access to your gross. You can't touch it because they must still take out their deductions first. And once they've done that, the net pay, that is the one now that clicks into your bank account, ding, ding, then, oh yes, I've got money. That is the money that you have. That is your net pay. Payee, pay as you earn. This is the tax that all the employees are required to pay based on the money that they earn. Like I said, the more money you earn, the more tax you are going to contribute. And then here, guys, is an example of a pay slip or a salary advice. I just wanted to show you guys in practice what we mean by the gross income, what we mean by the deductions, and what we mean by the net pay. So this is the gross earning. The gross earning here, the gross income is 8,800. This is the money that this person is actually, they agreed upon on a contract that we are going to pay you 8,800. This is the payslip for Mr. S. Zuma. But Mr. Zuma will never, ever get to see or touch this 8,800. Because before this 8,800 comes to him, some things must be done. There are deductions that must be done from this 8,800. Remember, to deduct is to take out. So there's some monies that have to be taken out from this 8,800. Then the remainder of the money, then he can have that money and do whatever it is that he wants to do with the money. So the deductions in this case is the payee. Remember, payee, it is the pay as you earn. The tax of how much? 687.75 cents. And then he also contributes towards UIF. How much is he contributing? He's contributing 88 rands. Now, if you add these two, it gives you the total deductions. Now, how much does he take home? How much does he have access to? You take your gross earnings, you subtract your deductions, it will give you the net pay. So this is his take-home money. This is what is going to click in his account to say, ding, ding, you've been paid. And how much have you been paid? 8,024.25 cents. So a simple formula for net income, if you want to calculate net income is equals to gross minus deductions. To get this, they said 8,800 minus a total of these two values. So I just wanted to explain this in practice because we've come across this question in the exam where learners are requested to differentiate between a net earning and a gross earning. So don't forget, please, gross, it is the income before any deductions. And then your net is now your income after deductions. You don't have access to your gross. You can't see it. You'll never see it. You'll never hold it. But you'll always see your net payment. And then, guys, what exactly is UIF? It is an unemployment insurance fund. And then its main purpose is to provide short relief to workers when, one, they become unemployed, like I said, or two, they are unable to work because of maternity leave or adoption leave or illnesses. So if that company does not pay for medical for maternity leave, they don't support maternity leave, then it means you will need to get money from your insurance because the company will not be paying you. And then it is a short-term relief, meaning you cannot get UIF for life or for years. You can only get it for a certain period, maybe for about 6 months. And then if an individual is employed for more than a month, the employer is required to register the individual for UIF. And then each month, an employer deducts 1% from the employee's salary. So let's say, for example, if I was contributing to UIF as a government employee, so from my salary, the department will deduct 1% and put it into the fund. And the department as well, it must also contribute the same 1% to go into the fund. So together, combined, that goes into the insurance fund, it will be how much? It will be 2%. It is 1% by the employer, 1% by the employee. Then together, when it goes into the fund, it goes in as 2%. If I contribute 150 for UIF, the employer must also contribute 150. So in total, the money that goes into the fund is how much? It will be 300 rands. And then guys, there is a UIF ceiling, but I don't want you to stress about it. I just want to explain, because if there's going to be a ceiling in that certain scenario that you'll be working with, the examiner will tell you. There's actually a ceiling that, okay, the UIF contributions, it cannot exceed this amount per month. So this is the ceiling. Let's say maybe they can say the ceiling is 250. Guys, this is just an example. If they say the UIF contribution ceiling is 250, this means that if you calculate my UIF and then you find that from your calculations, I'm supposed to contribute 310 for UIF. That cannot happen, because the ceiling, it must end at 250. Since according to calculations, I was supposed to contribute 310, it cannot be 310. So for my case, then it means I will only contribute 250, and the employer will also contribute what? 250. So the employer will always contribute the same amount that I contribute. The issue of the UIF ceiling, guys, it will be given to you in the exam. If they don't say anything about the ceiling, then we ignore it, we continue. Why is there a ceiling, guys? Remember, this is an insurance fund. Some people are earning a lot of money. So imagine someone that earns 500,000 a month. And then if you had to calculate their UIF contribution, how much would they have to contribute a month? How much would the company have to contribute a month? So no, it would be too much for the company. And then imagine if that person now, they stop working. How much will now the insurance company, the fund, the UIF, have to pay him? Then they'll have to pay him a lot of money, which is something that they must probably won't be able to afford. So that is the purpose of having a ceiling, to say that there's a limit for the UIF contributions. It mustn't exceed this particular amount. But I don't want you to stress about that. If there has to be a limit, the examiner will always guide you. They will tell you that there's a limit for the UIF contribution. It has to end here. And then if they didn't say anything, then we work with what you know. You work with your 1%. This 1% contribution by the employer, and this 1% contribution by the employee. And then the other thing that I want to emphasize, guys, let's say I was working at KFC, and then there's a hard lockdown. The country goes on a lockdown. KFC is closed. We are not working. And then since KFC is closed, they're not getting any income. I need to go and claim for my UIF, so that at the end of the month, I can get something to provide for my family. If maybe I was earning 7,000 every month at KFC, my UIF is not going to be 7,000 every month. I'm not going to get 7,000 every month. That money is not there. They cannot afford it. So you'll get about 58% of your normal salary on UIF. So when you claim for UIF, you don't get your salary as it is. You get a certain percentage. And the last time I checked, it was just 58% of your salary. So if I earn 7,000, it means now when I claim my UIF, I'm just going to get 58% a month, which is about 4,060, which is not bad. It's not bad. It's better than nothing. Could have been worse. And again, you don't get UIF forever. It's only for a certain period of time. Can maybe be for 6 months. Girls and boys, unfortunately, time is not on our side. I'll have to stop here for today. Thank you so much. I enjoyed the lesson. I hope you guys have enjoyed the lesson. We will catch you again next week with my colleague, Mr. Kekana, and he will be revising the data handling. Please stay safe, continue to social distance, put on your mask, wash your hands. We love you. Until next time. Thank you.